Okay, we are live on YouTube now. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm going to get started in just a moment. Grab your tea, grab your coffee. Yes, thank you so much for joining me for this afternoon's live stream. This is called Why Movement Feels Harder. And you're not alone. And what to do instead. Okay, I know that's a long title, but I'm very passionate about this topic. So yeah, I feel like it's a very important topic amongst my audience, my clientele that I serve. And if you don't know me, my name is Liz Philippone, and I help people stay strong, confident, and independent by combining evidence-based training with mindful movement and nervous system support. I'm a multi-certified fitness professional and yoga professional, specializing in strength, mobility, and corrective exercise for midlife and older adults. And of course, my approach focuses on building resilience, not perfection. So clients can move better, reduce pain in their body, and continue doing what they love for years to come and beyond. And that is me right there. So if you are joining me live or replay, say hello. Say hello. I would love to hear from you. I put the chat on in YouTube, and even if you're watching the replay, you can type hashtag replay as well. I like to know who watches these live streams, that the content that I'm delivering is of value to you, that helps you in any way, helps me just connect with all of you. I want to know, I want to hear from you. What are things that you want to talk about? What are concerns regarding movement and health? What is that? Like, what is your challenge, your struggle, your worry, your concerns? Okay, that's what I want to talk about with all my people here on Facebook as well as YouTube. So if you are here, say hello. Okay, so that's enough about me. So, and I'm just taking a moment to acknowledge this common feeling. Like the title says it itself. If movement feels harder, less steady, or more tiring than it used to, you're not alone, especially if you are in that midlife and over age range, okay? In the midlife, older adult range, okay? And I'm looking at like 40s on, okay? When I entered my 40s, I'm 47, I noticed lots of changes. It was slow, started small, but then they've gotten bigger. Like hip stuff, shoulder stuff, energy stuff. Okay. So this is a common thing, especially like in your mid 40s, late 40s. It's a very common thing. It's not a motivation or effort problem. I want to reassure you that. So I'm really just trying to normalize this for a moment. And today, for this live stream, this is about understanding why and what actually helps. I did talk about this last week. I talked about sarcopenia, inflammation, muscle health. That was something I did talk about. So if you missed that, you can go back to last week, Thursday, check that out. And then the week before, I talked about similar stuff that I'm going to talk about today, a little different take on it about foundation, right? Because we're really going to dive into foundation. Now, before I continue, I just want to acknowledge, especially for those of you who are on my email list, I was hacked this week. Ugh. I just had to get that out. I've contacted most of you. I sent a mass email to everybody. It's been cleared up, changed all my passwords. So I just wanted to say I'm sorry that you got a bunk email from me. you got a bunk email and you probably, put me to spam, reported me as spam. I get it, right? But I assure you, everything has been cleared up. I put more security, authentication, passkeys, like all these cool security things now up on my Google accounts and even my other accounts like bank and social media, because you just got to be careful, right? You just got to be careful more nowadays of people messing with you. All right. It's infuriating. So if you've been hacked, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's not fun. It's a big mess that you have to clean up. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for continuing to support me. And thank you for your comments, right, on the post I did on Facebook about it. I really appreciate it. And the replies from the emails too. I really appreciate you reaching out and just saying, just acknowledging that you received my message and we're like, yeah, I didn't open that. I didn't do anything. So it's like, yeah. All right, moving on to our topic. So what people usually think the problem is, and this is what I'm talking about, why movement feels harder. This is generally what people usually think the problem is when they, common things are, I need to work out more. I need to push harder. I'm just getting old. Let me know in the comments if you've said any of these things. Even if you're watching the replay, I would love to hear if you've said any of those three things or sort of a variation of that. I think the last one, I'm just getting old. I think everybody says that one. I have said it. I've heard my husband say it. Just people around me like, oh, that's just part of getting old. But also then there's people like putting all this tremendous pressure on themselves. Like, I just got to push more in my workouts. I got to push myself. I need to just work out more. All right. And I think I said this last week or even the week before, but I've been saying this a lot this past week in my classes, sessions with clients. More isn't exactly better. Okay. So let's reframe this. Most of the time, movement feels harder because the foundation is missing. Not because you're doing something wrong. You could be doing the same old thing you always have done for years. I don't just mean working out, exercises. I mean just daily activities of like going up and down the stairs, lifting laundry baskets, garbage, grocery bags, right? Getting in and out of the car, walking, okay? Getting on the floor, getting up, I'm talking about these things, okay? It's really about the foundation, right? That is mostly what it is. So just thinking of it in that way, not that you're doing something wrong, okay? Yes, something's off, but you're not doing something wrong. So what's really happening here then, right? You're like, okay, what's really happening here now, Liz? With when movement feels harder, what's going on? Just sipping my tea. What's happening is your balance and stability is decreasing, right? Balance starts to actually plummet after you turn 20. You can actually Google it, but that is actually Jessie. Hello. You have said all those things. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I love that. I've said it all too. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. But and Jessie, I just have to say this. Jessie, she just commented the best ASMR videos. They're like food, like eating. I love it. I won't go into it right now, but you got to check out her YouTube channel. It is awesome and fun. Okay, yeah, I digressed. So here's what's really happened when movement feels harder. Decreased balance and stability. Postural changes. Muscles compensating instead of supporting, and nervous system staying in a guarded state. That's a lot to unpack. Do you agree with me? So even if you're watching the replay of this, like, I know that was like a total mouthful. So like I said in the beginning, the decrease of balance and stability, it starts to fail after you're 20, right? It just changes, right? As we grow into different decades of our life, if we're not working those muscles, our stability goes down as well as our balance, our fast twitch muscles. I was just talking about this in my class this morning. Your fast twitch muscles are your reactive muscles. Those are the ones that help you react when something shocks you or you trip, you stumble, so that you do not fall and break bones. Okay. And falling, I'm just using, it's hard. I have fallen. It happens so fast. You don't even have time to think about it. But if you're practicing and working these fast twitch muscles, that's going to help with your balance and stability, right? It's not just about standing on one foot. It's not just about doing squats, sit to stand. That's part of it. But it's working other muscles and doing different things, working your fast twitch muscles. So I'm laughing because Jessie says her ASMR channel is keeping her from getting healthy because she's eating all this, You're welcome. Anything. Yeah, anytime. Thank you, Jessie. I love it when people are on live because I'm not alone. We can talk, we can interact. But so that is the biggest thing with decreased balance and stability is those fast twitch muscles. You have to work them. The next thing I said was postural changes. Damn gravity. Okay. Gravity. We don't think of gravity, right? It's really when it comes down to physics sometimes, is that gravity as we get older, right? Because our bodies are older. I mean, what do you just, I'm 47. I have a 47-year-old body, right? My bones are 47 years old. My muscles are 40. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it could go down, my organs, right? All of that. So what tends to happen, right? Our posture, we sit more so that we start to get rounded. And then our core muscles get weak, our back muscles get weak, and it goes into this whole domino effect. That also, when that forward position there, that makes us go down as well if we're not doing something about our posture. All right. Unfortunately, gravity is not our friend as we get older. Just saying. Taking a breath there because, that's why it's so hard to get up off the floor, right? Because gravity is super heavy down there. But when it comes to postural, like I could go on a big tangent about posture because I've been learning just a new way of looking at posture. It's something I'm going to be adding to my toolbox, postural assessments. That when we were born, we were symmetrical. Yeah. We were pretty symmetrical, unless we had different things happen to us, in the womb with birth, that kind of thing. But most of all, when you look at babies, they are perfect. They are symmetrical. And it's not until like 5 years old, 6 years old, we go to school, and what do? We sit at desks and tables. And then the sitting just increases for each grade. We're just like sitting there, right? And what's even worse now is kids have these. And like I said, I could go on and on about this, but by 10 years old, and there's been research done. You should look up a man named Patrick Mummy, exactly how it sounds, like a mummy. He is the founder of Symmetry, and he did a study with children, like postural changes by 10 years old. Like that's what, 4th grade, 5th grade. There is a 10-degree shift in their pelvis because of sitting so much at desks. And now we got electronics. So just think about that, because yeah, I remember sitting at desks forever. And then what happens? Then you go to college, and in some cases, not everybody goes to college, but you get a job, and sometimes that job is sitting at a desk in front of a computer, because now we are in the digital age. So just thinking about those postural changes, even if you are a baby boomer or Gen X like me, you remember when these devices were not a thing, right? We ran outside, we played outside, we did other things, we moved more. And then just over time, these things just sort of took over. So anyway, I know I unpacked a lot just there, but let me know if that made sense. And let me know what your thoughts are on that. The next one was muscles compensating instead of supporting. Certain muscles get overused. I'm going to use this example of the rounded position. These muscles here, your pecs, right? They're going to get shortened and overused and tight, while these guys back here are going to weaken, which you need in order to hold you up nice and strong. And then, of course, the core, right? The core is just going to be all tight in here. Overdone. You have to do the opposite. Yeah. So all these muscles are going to be compensating, not just these, but your neck, right? Your neck muscles are going to compensate because it's trying to hold you up so that you don't go forward. You got to strengthen these guys back up here, right? I hope that makes sense. But even when you have like a tight hip or an injury to your hip, the other side is going to start compensating for what's going wrong over here. Shoulder, right? You have a shoulder thing. This one's going to do more work because it knows the other one is hurt, okay? Or there's something up over there. I got to take over. Does that make sense? If none of this makes sense, please let me know in the comments. And then lastly is the nervous system is staying in a guarded state. Why not? If you are off of balance, not feeling stable, you're feeling all these tight things, your posture's changing, your muscles are compensating because one thing hurts, so the other thing's taking over, and all of a sudden the side that's taking over is hurting. Why would you not feel guarded, or your nervous system not be guarded to be like, okay, I'm just going to tighten everything up now because there's so much going on. And yeah, you can say any more about that. So your nervous system, right? You're not relaxed. You might not be as relaxed as you would want to be or actually feel, right? Because if your nervous system is guarding, it's ready for chaos. It's ready for something to happen because you're afraid. There's this fear that you're going to hurt yourself, or you're going to fall, or any of those things. And then when you go to try to exercise more and push harder, your nervous system is so guarded that all those muscles are just going to like get tighter. All right. All right. So moving on. Why foundation work changes everything. So I talked about foundation. And basically what a strong foundation is alignment, having alignment. I don't mean perfect alignment because by now we're all asymmetric, right? Just because of all the things we did in prior years leading up, right? So strong foundation now is having that alignment. We can still have a strong, fresh alignment. We can get back there. A strong foundation is good posture, as well as stability in our joints and our muscles, and just a overall body awareness. This is something that I teach in my programming, my Power Up Your Strength program. It's in fact the first thing that we work on together is posture, body awareness. Where is your body in space? When you don't have that awareness, no wonder your nervous system is guarded. If you don't have that awareness and there's things coming at you, or, and this can be like a mental, emotional thing too, not just physical. But if you have things going on in your body and then you try to do a certain movement, you go to a class or something, and it's just not, you don't feel comfortable. Yes, like it's not going to help, right? If you go in a guarded way. Objectively, I observe how people move and ask questions like, no, really, how did that feel in your hip? How did that, it's pretty amazing what you learn from people when you look at their posture. Lots of stories there. All right. So that's basically a strong foundation, those 4 things: alignment, posture, stability, and body awareness. So when people can reconnect to the basics, everything starts to feel easier. I guarantee it. All my clients do say that. They're like, we're working on the most basic things, Liz, but oh my God, now when I walk, I can walk stronger and more confident, even if it's icy, snowy outside, to a point. Some of that stuff's been pretty nasty out there lately, but they've been feeling that certain movements get easier when you focus on the foundations, on the basics. So, one last thing. So, what are some simple shifts you could try? Slowing down your transitions. I have started to do this, right? I know it sounds silly, but slowing down your transitions, and the transitions I'm talking about is from sitting to standing, and then from standing to walking. One of the things I slowed down because I was having a hip issue, a knee issue at one point in time, stairs. Because I would like throw something out just by walking down the stairs. Like, I'm like, what am I doing? What is going on? All I was doing was going down the stairs or up the stairs, and now this hurts. I just started going slower, taking one step, not rushing, at a time. Feeling the muscles that I'm supposed to feel as I go upstairs as well as downstairs. So that's the first thing you can try. Another thing you can try is just noticing foot contact with the floor. I'm wearing socks right now, but even if you're wearing shoes, and you need to know this, shoes affect balance, right? Because it's the bottoms of your feet. That's one of the things that balance gets affected by, is the sensation of the bottoms of your feet. So when you put shoes on, it totally changes the sensations and the signals, the nerve endings that are in your feet, right, up to the brain. So just noticing it. You don't have to dissect it. You don't have to analyze it. You just need to bring that awareness to your foot contact with the floor. The next thing is stacking your head over your ribs and ribs over your pelvis. And then, of course, breathing before you move, right? Instead of rushing. Taking some deep breaths, right? Because if you've seen some past live streams of mine, when I talk about the nervous system, deep breathing, if you do 5 to 10 deep breaths, it brings your nervous system back into a more relaxed state. We don't breathe deep. We're rush, we're go, go, go. All right. So I'm wrapping up right now. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. But I would like to know from you if you would be interested. I have mentioned this before. I have a Foundation First series. It's a 7 days to steady, stable movement, 7-day series. It's all videos you can do on your own in the comforts of your own home. Not a lot of fancy equipment needed, not a lot of things, not very long sessions. It is really a way to bring about that body awareness. Yeah, those things I talked about, posture, body awareness, stability. What these series basically is, it's what does it do? It builds strength and stability from the ground up. So in this 7-day series, it's designed to help you reset, reconnect, and create a solid movement foundation. So whether you're starting fresh, you're brand new, or you're reinforcing your current routine, because let me tell you, I had to reinforce this. When things started hurting and I would do my usual workout routine, I started getting injured. I did. I started getting injured and I'm like, what the hell? So I got some support. I went to another practitioner to look at me, and how about it? Foundational work 101 I was doing. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. So you will feel more steady, energized, and confident in your daily movement and activities when you do this 7-day series, and you can like repeat it a couple times. So if this is something you're interested in, I would really love to hear from you. I would really love you to comment steady, the word steady. And I will send you more information as it comes. And this isn't going to like break the bank either. If you're thinking like, oh, how much does it cost, Liz? It's not going to break the bank. I'm thinking like $49, honestly, because I want to get your feedback. I want your feedback on how it works for you. That's why I'm only going to do it at such a low price, $49. So there you go. You're not going to be pushing yourself hard. You're not going to be, this isn't about perfection. It's just moving more smarter movement. All right. And if you're ready to dive deep, if you're like, no, Liz, I've been through your foundational stuff, I'm ready to really transform here, then you need to talk to me about Power Up Your Strength, my 12-week transformational program. That is a hybrid program. Okay. It's like an in-person thing and a virtual thing, but it could be totally virtual as well. So if you're not local, we can totally work together. I have clients who are 100% virtual with me and are getting results. They're getting results from this programming. So if you're interested in Power Up Your Strength, that's the next step, okay? Simply comment Power Up. All right. So that's it. That's all I have for you. Please, again, like this video, comment, so that if you're finding value out of these videos, the platforms, YouTube and Facebook, will show it to more people. Yeah. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.